Okay. So, story time. I have been dealt a reputation as rather a, as strange as it sounds, a very easygoing, violent person. If some shit needs handled, it'll be handled. And that's whether other people want to cooperate or not. Because it's been in my experience that if I want somebody to cooperate, they going to. Now, my daddy, he's got a couple friends, they married. But they got marital problems like ain't nobody's business. Okay? So, this one particular night, his buddy comes over. And this man has a literal zombie bite. I'm talking a 4-inch bite out of this man's sternum. And another one out of right above his lower back, above his hip bone. Okay? Now, I've done some pretty gruesome things and left a couple bite marks on a couple people. I'm no angel. I used to drink quite a bit. But this man was completely sober when he showed up, bawling and crying about how much he wanted his marriage to work. Now, about 45 minutes later, guess who shows up? This man's wife. Also a friend of my father's. Now, being as this man showed up here at my house where I am living about 11:30 midnight, my ass is going to bed. Okay? So when his wife showed up, it was about 1:30. Now, a little bit of backstory. I hadn't felt very good that day. And if anybody who knows anything about me knows my sleep schedule is already fucked, knows me well enough to know that when I don't feel good, in the event that you make me feel worse, I'm going to make you wish you were dead. And God forbid you wake me up from sleeping. God forbid. Heaven help your soul. Because this woman did not knock on our door. This woman damn near kicked the thing in like she fucking belonged to SWAT. Having kicked in quite a few doors my damn self. Folks, I tell you what, I made the 90-degree angle turn up out of my bedroom. Almost fast enough to break the goddamn sound barrier. I tell you what, and I was sleeping good. Ooh, I tell you what, I was mad. Ooh, I was mad. She come in cussing, screaming, yelling, throwing things in my daddy's house. Of all places. Now, anybody who knows anything about my previous videos knows that I don't take too kindly to hostility. Being I've had a lot of domestic violence and I got a lot of PTSD my damn self. Okay? So to wake up to some broad screaming, and I mean broad, not saying she was fat, I'm saying she was dumb. She decided she was going to kick on the wrong door. I went out in a hurry. Yes, I went out there in a hurry. But then I was still respectful about it. I was. I told this woman, I'm like, I looked at my daddy's friend and I said, "Can I help you?" She didn't answer me. She said she ain't got no business with me. And then I very gently corrected her. And I said, well, you came into my house at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, woke me up from a dead sleep. Now we got business, bitch. So, again, me trying to be as peaceful as possible, I said, look, I understand that y'all got marital problems. Being from a violent marriage, I understand these things. Looked at her husband, and I said, hey, you need to go associate things with your wife. I still gave the man respect and his wife respect. Still tried to handle it peacefully. At this point, this woman had now taken it upon herself to work herself into a frenzy. Started cussing at me, calling me all kinds of names. I don't like being called names. Nobody does. So I held my hand up. And I said, honey, you're going to have to wait. Your turn. At this point, in a drunken stupor, this woman flies off the handle. I am now cracking up internally, but straight, stone cold faced on the outside. At this point, I politely asked her husband to pick up his mess, which I thought was pretty respectful. This woman, this broad, decided she was going to take a swing at her husband. I don't condone spousal violence. Don't condone any violence of any kind. And me being between her and her husband, I didn't take too kindly to this. And being as this is happening in my daddy's house, I'm not too happy about it. Then I'm not too happy that I got woken up from a dead sleep to deal with somebody else's marital drama. I didn't even wake up from my own marital drama, okay? Now, at this point, I grab this woman, swoop her up, and say that it's not appropriate for nobody to hit nobody. Same thing I tell my children. Okay? I get her calmed down. She's squirming all over the place, cussing and screaming, calling me all kinds of names. And at this point, she takes another swing. And at this point, I say, okay, lady, you're going to have to leave now. Because I don't condone violence. So I pick her up. And she said, put me down. So I put her down. And she goes, how dare you? How dare I? Thinking to myself, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't feel good. You've been nothing but disrespectful in my daddy's house. And now you're bringing your marital problems into my daddy's house. Waking me up from a dead sleep when I don't feel good. Okay? I'm real angry at this point. At this point in time, my eyebrow starts to twitch a little bit. And I'm really not happy. On the verge about throwing up. Because I am legitimately sick. And not trying to deal with no fucking drama that's raising my anxiety, that's raising my PTSD levels. There ain't enough fucking anxiety medication in the world to deal with hostile women. Let me tell you what. I'm going to tell you that right now. What does cure anxious women, on the other hand, is a firm hand. I tell everybody that knows me, a hard head make a soft ass. She came into the wrong house at 2 o'clock in the morning. This had gone on for about 30 minutes now. And at this point in time, I was done with it. I was done. My dad's friend wasn't saying nothing, wasn't being insulting to this woman, was trying to defuse her, calm her down, get everything handled, nice and politely. And still nothing. She was flying off the handle. I don't much care for drunk people. I don't care much for violent people. And at this point in time, I was sick. And frankly, I was done with it. I was tired. I was cranky. I didn't feel good. And I had every right in the world. I'm like, I ain't got to deal with this shit. This ain't my bitch. This ain't my life. This ain't my broad. This ain't my woman. This ain't my mama. I ain't got to deal with this. This is my daddy's house. And this is the place where I live. So this is my house. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I'm about freaking out at this point in time. But still calm, cool, and collected on the outside. I looked at my dad's buddy and I said, hey, you got to get your friend out of here. Got to get your wife out of here. Handle your problems or I'm going to handle them for you. At this point, this broad decided that she was going to tell me that I didn't have the power to do anything about it. And that she didn't have to leave because I couldn't make her. Now, anybody that knows me knows that this is one of my favorite go-to statements. That I can't do something. That I can't do anything. That I won't do anything. I love this statement. Because at this point in time, it just pops into my head and reminds me that when antagonized, I have deadlifted a 525-pound man. So this little lady at roughly about 280 wasn't intimidating to me. So what did I do? I said, okay, ma'am, I've had enough. Still being respectful as I could. I said, you need to get the hell out of my daddy's house. Get the hell out of my house. Picked her up by her belt loops. Turned her ass around. Picked her up by the back of her shirt. And my other arm just lifted her up and pushed her out the door. Because mama don't play that shit. I'm not with it. I'm done. Done. Y'all can tell me if I'm out of line. But I was done. And then her husband followed her out. And they left. He showed up the next day. He had bruises all up and down his body. And them 2 bite marks. Then, a little bit of back page. On their way out the driveway, this lady said, you don't understand to me. He hit me. And now, let me just tell you this. Her husband has been my daddy's friend for about 10 years. 10. And they've had marital problems for about 5. And I looked at this lady, stone cold serious, and I said, lady, when my ex-husband hit me, I didn't go chasing him. Are you out of your damn mind? Y'all let me know what you think. But I feel I was in the right. And I honestly don't think he hit her. Because he was stone cold sober and somber as fuck when he got here. And when she got here, she was nothing but issues. And it's not like he could have bit the middle of himself. Domestic violence ain't right on nobody's terms. But I tell you what, I wasn't one playing. When she needed to leave, she wasn't going to keep disrespecting my house. Or my daddy's house.